No, it's the sorriest shit I've ever seen, bro. Why do I care about what the third string guys are doing, bro? Who cares? Like, trust me, I love football, but Jesus Christ. Like, it's watching pure clownery out there. I don't care what Jake Sloter's doing. How? What? Nah, I feel like that's not a troll job. Bro. That doesn't even make sense.
Are the bars going up on the right side when I'm talking?
On the left side, they are.
Then put it live. How about now?
It is live. It is live. Can you hear it?
They're not going up on the right side?
That doesn't even make sense. No,
are the bars going up on the right side when I'm
There they go.
There you go. On the left side, they are.
All right, so I'm good now?
Yeah, McMichaels.
How about now?
It is live. It is live.
All right, sorry about that. Toast, can you turn it down on the right side?
That doesn't even make sense. No,
are the bars going up on the right side when I'm there they go. Can you turn that down, please?
Toast.
Yo, turn it down. All right.
Oh, were you guys talking to me?
Yes,
Sorry,
bro.
I was. All right, I had the fucking computer on mute because I was trying to see if it was working for you. Fuck it. I'm done.
All right.
If Beaver just had it under control, I wouldn't have to be doing this.
It's like, Toast, can you turn that down, please? It was like, all right, so Padres at Marlins first
I
game.
apologize.
No, that's cool, bro. I'll go first. This is a short one from me. I have two bets. Let me just check to see make sure the odds hasn't moved. Moved 2 points. So, what do you have it at? All right, so I'm going to take the Padres money line at -142 just for a half unit. Super safe, super light play there. A little more aggressive. I'm going with the Marlins team total under 2.5 at +105 for another half unit. Over the past 15 Marlins games, 15 games. Guess how many combined total runs this team's produced? In 15 games, just 27 runs. It's over the course of 2.5 weeks. The Marlins, in the last 50 games, are averaging 1.8 runs per game. That is the most abysmal thing I've ever heard. So, yeah, with Joe Musgrove pitching, and they're going to give me under 2.5 at plus money, they're averaging less than 2, let alone 3. They have to get to 3 for this not to cash. They're averaging less than 2. At plus money. This is just a must bet for me. So my favorite bet was actually the Miami team total under, and then I figured I'll split it up and go half on the money line as well, because if the Marlins are scoring less than 3 runs, chances are Padres are going to win the game. So, yeah, those are my two bets to start us off. Toast?
Yeah,
Go ahead, Beaver.
First off, I'd like to acknowledge a comment. Some clown is saying he's making money riding you two guys and fading me. First off, been green for
one last show.
Been green for 3 days. Second of all, I won by a wide margin last show, even going just 0.05 units. So I don't even want to hear it from you, Pell State picks.
You know what I should say real quick is Saturday show, Beaver won, and he was in the green. Me and Toast got crushed. I took Sunday off, so there was no results video or anything, but me and Toast got crushed, and Beaver won. So let's give the credit he due. He did win. He'll lose today.
Yesterday was nice.
Yes, the VIP, yeah, but the VIP yesterday was nice, but the VIP on Saturday got killed. So we lost like 5.3 units, and I think we got back like 2.5. So we didn't get all the units back, but we will. We will. All right, sorry to interrupt you, Beaver. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. I pardon the interruption. Don't cease and assist me on that one. I'm just going with the Miami first 5 money line at plus 116. I'm putting 0.5 units on that bad boy. Simply put, I don't care how bad Miami's been. Joe Musgrove absolutely sucks right now. I mean, he's been good in his past 3 starts against Miami. I'll give you that. But, I mean, since June 23rd, the guy's got a 5.06 ERA, a 34 hard hit percentage, a 752 OPS, and right-handed batters are smacking him around right now with a 537 slug. He's going to be seeing a ton of righties in that Marlins lineup today. And as much as I hate backing the Marlins, that's why there's only a 0.5 unit on that bad boy. Sandy Alcantara is just shut down. The only time he really gets lit up is when he sees a team for the 5th time in the year, like you just saw the Mets and the Phillies. The Padres are not of that breed. And also the Padres' bats are just wildly inconsistent. Yes, they are 2nd or 3rd, I will say, in OPS against righties. But if you go ahead and you look at the row gallery of pitchers they faced recently, it is nothing short of embarrassing. We're talking about Corey Abbott, a fictional character, Anibal Sanchez, Paulo Espino. And if you go further and further, the list goes on. Bunch of mid-pitchers. Now they're facing Sandy at home. At night, I know that it's a dome, but there's something about the preparation for Sandy where he's a nasty man at night in that dome. So give me that for a half unit.
Toast?
I love you, Beaver. I love you. I'm gonna. I think as much as Joe Musgrove, or as bad as he's been, I don't think.
I just disagree with that take that he's been bad.
I was just gonna say I don't think the Miami fits the bill of getting to him either way. So I think both pitchers roll. I think we see like a 1-0, 2-0 game. So I'm gonna go first 5 under 3. I know it's low, but I think it's low for an absolute reason. It's at minus 110. I'm gonna do a 0.75 units on it. I just think that we get a pitching duel here today. So
Can't argue with that with Sandy pitching, that's for sure. All right, let's cruise on to the next one.
Alrighty.
A ton of righties in that Marlins lineup that can't hit, he said.
I mean, he's not wrong. He's really not wrong.
yeah,
but
not wrong at all.
yeah.
All right, Toast, you were last. Why don't you start us off on the Phillies-Reds game?
So this one's not as easy for me, just because I've made, decent money fading Thor this year. But I've got to say that he's actually pitched much better lately. So I'm actually going to take them. I got 2 bets. One's a parlay, part of a parlay, and the other one's on the Phillies. I'm going to take the Phillies minus 1.5 at minus 115 for 0.75 units. They just got done playing the Mets and whatnot, but I still think that I know that they've been playing extremely good baseball lately. So Mike Minor would be the guy that they could get some runs against for sure. And then I also did the Phillies and the Twins in a money line parlay as well for a half a unit, and that comes back at plus 142. I'll talk about the Twins when we get to that game.
I'm on the complete opposite side. I'm on the Reds here. Cincinnati money line plus 158 for a half unit, and Cincinnati plus 1.5 at minus 105 for another half unit. Don't look now, but the Phillies bats have gone cold. They've been shut out in 3 of their last 4 games. They scored a combined 2 runs in 4 baseball games. Noah Syndergaard pitching against Mike Minor at first glance sounds like this huge pitching advantage, but if you just go by strictly the numbers, I really don't think that's the case here. Noah Syndergaard's numbers on the road this year, 1-6 with a 5.17 ERA. Now, Mike Minor's numbers at home are pretty similar to that, 0-6 with a 6.25 ERA, so very close to that. I'm not sitting here saying Mike Minor is better than Syndergaard by any means, but I'm just saying that gap should be closer. Check this out. So since July 1st, right, let's use that sample size for these pitchers. Since July 1st, Noah Syndergaard has an ERA of 4.20, right? And you're probably like, that's not too bad, 4.20 since July 1st. Want to know who Syndergaard's pitched against? The Marlins, the Nationals, the Royals, and the Astros. He did pitch against Houston. So 4.20 against those 5 lineups. I mean, other than the Astros, it's some of the worst lineups in baseball. It's not impressive. Meanwhile, Mike Minor, since July 1st, has somewhat similar numbers. Want to know who he's pitched against? at the Mets, at the Yankees, Atlanta Braves, Cardinals, Orioles. This dude's facing serious lineups and putting up similar numbers to Syndergaard. So if you just eliminate the names and eliminate the faces and go by the numbers, there's a ton of value on Cincinnati's side here. Yeah, the Reds bullpen scares the shit out of me, but so does the Phillies. So I'll take the Reds 2 ways here. Phillies bats are going to have to show me their back.
Yeah, so Syndergaard's about to absolutely deal today. Syndergaard over 4.5 Ks, minus 140. I'm putting a full unit on that one. I don't even think Syndergaard needs to necessarily deal today to hit this total, but I really, really do like this prop bet here. Simply put, guys, 6-9 to that Reds lineup. They are right-handed batters, and if you look at his recent road stretch as of late, his last 3 road starts, he's clocking in with a 29.2 K percentage against righties. He is starting to pick up some momentum in the K game, and then in terms of the Reds, I mean, they just allow everybody and their mother over this total. It doesn't matter if you're seeing guys that are absolute scrubs. I'm sure Paolo Espino could come into this game and throw 5 Ks. So now we're getting Syndergaard, who's starting to catch a little bit of a groove lately against a Reds lineup that doesn't really impress me. Yes, the Reds hit righties better at home than they do on the road, but they just faced Adrian Sampson in a matchup where they should have absolutely smashed the guy and simply put could not get Ks against the guy to save his life. If you want that minus 140 line, it's going to be on, what was I going to say? It's going to be on DK. And a lot of the projections that I've seen and respect have him going 5.5 Ks here. So 4.5 at that price. I love it.
All right. He's on Syndergaard. Cruise on to the next one. Everyone's saying the Phillies just played the Mets. That's why they got shut out 3 times. Yeah, one of those shutouts wasn't even against the Mets. Also, the Mets bullpen is not good. So, yeah, their starting pitching is dope. DeGrom went, 5 innings? Their bullpen sucks. Anyway, moving on. Tigers. Oh, no, that's the doubleheader. I didn't write a pick down for either games in that series. I didn't care. I don't even know who.
You didn't like.
Look at this.
You didn't like Xavier Curry at a minus 213 price?
I saw it was the second leg of a doubleheader, and I saw it was 2 guys pitching that I didn't know, so I said, fuck it. So if you guys have a pick to give out, go ahead. Let me know when we get to the next game.
Yeah, no, I refuse to pick that game. That's a misery. All right, on to the next one.
All right.
Damn it.
Cubs at Jesus Christ.
It's Washington.
Wait a second. It's John Gray pitching?
Josiah.
First of all, John Gray plays for Texas. First of all.
Oh, my God. I was looking at the Texas game. That's why I was like, hold up. Like, it's Glenn Otto's pitching tonight. I looked at that game. All right. Cubs at Nationals. Toast, why don't you go first? Oh, no, you just went first. I'll go first this time. All right, so I'm on the Cubs two ways here, Beaver. I'll give you the bets first.
Okay.
Cubs, you're not going to like this one, Beaver. Cubs, first 5, team total over 2.5 at plus 135 for a half unit. And Cubs minus 1.5 at plus 115 for another half unit. So the Cubs literally just saw Josiah Gray. They won that game. I think it was 4-2. Now he's back to pitch against the same exact lineup on just 4 days rest. Now, Washington uses him on 4 days rest all the time. It's not the weird part. The weird part is he's on 4 days rest against the same exact lineup. Now, that being said, the Nats are doing something very similar with Stroman. He just pitched against the the Cubs are doing something similar with Stroman. He's on 5 days rest instead of 4 days, but so we're splitting hairs. But both these lineups should be familiar with the pitchers they just saw. I honestly think the table is set for Marcus Stroman to throw a beast of a game tonight. Like I've said a few times on this show, he had a 0.89 ERA in the entire month of July. August started, and it's really tough. He had a tough road start against the Cardinals to start the month. Threw him off a little bit, and then he had a really bad start. But I'm going to file that start under – who was that bad start against? His last start. I didn't write it down.
The Nationals.
I was just talking about it. So then he had a bad start. I'm going to chalk this up as a fluke. I don't think the Nationals hit this guy twice in a row. Also, this Cubs lineup is quietly hot. In the last 2 weeks, the Cubs have a team OPS of 860 against right-handed pitching. That's third best in Major League Baseball. Also, the reason I'm laying the 1.5 also is the Cubs bullpen has been putting up really good numbers, miles better than the Nationals. The Nats bullpen has returned towards the bottom of the league in most statistical categories. You ready for this? In the last 2 weeks, opposing hitters are batting .319 against the Nationals bullpen. It's an over 250 at-bats, batting .319 against the Nats bullpen. Dead last in baseball. No one else is even above 300. Then teams are hitting .319 off that bullpen. In my opinion, I have the better starting pitcher, the better bats, and the better bullpen. Cubs 2 ways. Beaver.
Yeah, couldn't agree with you more. I've been talking a lot about my boy Marcus Stroman doing a lot better lately, and then, of course, he goes ahead and gets shelled by the Cardinals and the Washington Nationals of all team, but that's besides the point. If you look at Marcus Stroman splits, this guy cannot pitch in the city of Chicago to save his life. It is absolutely pathetic. But on the road, I mean, he's been nothing but a really solid pitcher. 577 OPS, just a 25.7 hard hit percentage, and a 0.99 whip. He absolutely deals on the road, and now he faces a Nats lineup that just got to him. I think we see an angry Stroman today. He's a very emotional pitcher. And then we got Josiah Gray on the other side, who literally can't pitch at home to save his life. So in terms of splits, this is couldn't be better for us today. Want to know what Josiah Gray has been doing at home? 6.75 ERA, 9.19 OPS, a fat 35% hard hit percentage. I really don't like the spot for Josiah Gray, and the last stat I'm going to give you guys is Josiah Gray is 3-7 on the first 5 run line at home. Marcus Stroman is 7-1 in his last 8 games on the first 5 run line on the road. Give me that.
I like it. I like those numbers. Toast?
Well, thanks for leaving me something to say, guys. Appreciate
Yeah,
that.
well, I had a lot of notes for this one.
I'm just giving you a hard time. Cubs first 5 minus 0.5 for 0.75 like Beaver. And then Cubs on the money line at minus 140 for a full unit as well.
All right. All of us on the same side here. Wait till Beaver gets that typed. Full unit on the money line. Toast betting 1.75 units on this game. That's a lot. Toast likes this one.
He likes them Cubs.
He likes them Cubbies. All right, let's cruise on to the next game. Rays at Yankees. Beaver, why don't you start us off?
Yeah, so as much as I would love to sit here and fade the Yankees and fade Garrett Cole and all that nice stuff, I can't do it. I really like the spot for Garrett Cole, actually. At home against lefties, the guy's been nothing short of excellent this season. Less than a 195 OPS at home against lefties. He's going to be seeing 5 of them today. And while the Tampa Bay bats have seemed to waken up a little bit lately, I mean, who are these pitchers they're facing? They just faced Jordan Lyles yesterday, and Buddy struck them out 9 times. 9 times through 4 innings of work. I mean, Jesus H. Christ, that's horrible. I'm going with Garrett Cole. I got this earlier. I tweeted on the page. Would highly recommend following if you want better lines for these, because now it's a whole fucking K higher, but over 9.5 Ks, that's coming in at plus 115. I'll put a half unit on that bad boy. They have it high for a reason, and I'm going to do under 4.5 hits allowed for him as well. His 3 outings against them this year, 4-1 hits allowed. I know he's looked a little shaky his past 2 home starts, but against a weak Tampa Bay lineup, I expect him to bounce back a little bit. So that's what I'm going to be doing for this game. Tampa Bay does not scare me in any way, shape, or form.
All right, cool. All right, a couple things. In your type, you just wrote Cole 9.5 Ks. You said over, so I want to put like an OV in there. Also, if your bet is long like that, next to A, you could just hit the return and just make the bet 2 lines instead of having to shrink the font down to miniature.
Oh, okay.
All right, I'll go next. Yankees all the way here. I'm on Yankees minus 1.5 at minus 115 for a full unit. Finally, that long Yankees road trip is over. They're 3-10 in their last 13. Everyone's talking about it. I'm sure you've heard about it 100 times. The Yankees are on a losing streak, but the majority of this losing stretch they're on has been on the road. since the All-Star break, the Yankees are actually 4-3 at home. So they still have an above 500 record at home since the All-Star break. They've been dominant at home all year. Even when they're struggling at home, they just seem to find ways to win. That being said, they have Garrett Cole on the mound, and he's coming off the best game of the season for him, in my opinion. I know that he had a bunch of games that rival that, but I watched that game. He went toe-to-toe with Castillo. That was a playoff-like atmosphere, and he pitched his ass off. He went 7 scoreless. I think it was 4 hits. So he's coming off that game, coming into this game with some confidence, back at home. I think he throws a gem and shuts this team down. Does the Rays lineup really scare anybody? I know that they're not bottom of the league, and I know that they even have been showing a little signs of life, but the lineup scares nobody. Yeah, I'll admit it. I'm a little terrified of the Yankees bullpen situation, but still, I think Yanks minus 1.5 is the side to be on here. Toast?
Yeah, not a chance in hell I lay money with the Yankees. Not even. And that's just me personally. You're right. They are 4-3 or 3-4 or whatever at home, but 3 of those or 4 of those were against the Royals. So good for the Yankees. Yeah, I can't pass it up. I can't pass up the price. Tampa Bay money line at plus 205 for a half a unit. Tampa Bay plus 1.5 at minus 105 for a half a unit as well. So
Toast is on the Rays.
I think it's going to be a close game, but I mean, I got the Yankees. I mean, coming home off of a road trip. Not only a road trip, you went from St. Louis to Seattle to Boston. Oh, by the way, they played Sunday Night Baseball. I don't love Tampa Bay here, but at plus 205 with a team that's with the Yankees that have done nothing but play losing baseball for the last 3 or 4 weeks. No chance in hell for me.
All right, we're on opposite sides there. Next game, Beaver. It should be Baltimore at Toronto, right?
Yes, sir.
I'll go first here. I love the Blue Jays here. Toronto money line at minus 158 for 0.75 units. And Toronto minus 1.5 at plus 125 for 0.5 units. The entire world is betting Baltimore. Earlier I looked, 99% of the money is on the Orioles. This is the most public dog I've ever seen. Kyle Bradish is pitching, and yes, he did just pitch a decent game against the Blue Jays recently, but that was actually his last start. So the Blue Jays just saw him, and he did pitch a somewhat decent game, but that was in Baltimore. This Blue Jays lineup is an entirely different beast up in Canada. By the way, we've seen Kyle Bradish pitch in Toronto before. It was just about a month ago, 5 weeks ago. He got absolutely hammered, completely rocked when he pitched in Toronto. I think there's a good energy in Toronto, and it's coming from nervousness, a little bit of anxiety. I think there's a little bit of panic going on, but I think that's going to be used in a good way. You know that if the Blue Jays lose this game, right now they are first they're the first wild card team in the AL. If they lose this game, they drop to the third, and the Orioles will only be 1.5 game out of knocking the Blue Jays out of a playoff spot. So I'm telling you, this team is coming out to play. This lineup is loaded. We've kind of forgotten about it because they've been struggling. I don't love Kikuchi at all, but I do like how his numbers at home are significantly better than those on the road. He's got an ERA in the 6s on the road. It drops down to 4.20, I think, at home. So he's significantly more reliable at home. Definitely on Toronto 2 ways here. Toast?
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I was already looking to kind of fade Baltimore just spot-wise before I saw the number coming out of Tampa Bay and having to fly all the way up to Canada. And then with Kikuchi, I understand, and like Kyle touched on, I understand that neither one of us are going to be able to sit up here with a straight face and make this case that he's some fantastic guy, but he has pitched better lately and he has pitched better at home. And he pitched against the Rays 2 starts ago, and he went 4 innings and gave up a couple runs. I just think that he has to keep them in the game. I think the Toronto bullpen should be just fine. And like I said, and like you've said, the way that they play at home is just completely different animal. They're 16 games over 500. They're almost like a 500 team on the road. So Toronto money line for a full unit, Toronto -1.5 for a half a unit.
To answer somebody in the comments, said if the Jays game is so important for the club, why would they put Kikuchi on the hill? Now why not go with an ace?
Because this isn't a video game?
Because it's a rotation. Yeah. They don't pick and choose who starts. They're in order.
It's the same reason. It's the same reason when a pitcher gives up 3 runs in the first and you text me, oh, not you, Kyle, but just a lot of people, oh, pull this guy. It's just not a video game, guys. It's not how it works.
Why wouldn't they choose someone else? Well, I don't know, because it's his turn.
We gotta pull him.
Next.
Just pull him.
Oh no, Beaver, you're up, man.
Yeah, I mean, I love all the people in the comments saying Orioles, Orioles, Orioles. Good. 99% of the money's on them, so that's great.
Yeah. It's down to 89. It's down to 89. It was 99 when I texted earlier.
Only 89% of the money. Word. That's way better.
The whole world is on Baltimore.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a quick computer search to see how bad Kikuchi is and how bad he's been against the Orioles. But, I mean, there's a reason that the books are trying to trap this Baltimore money. They don't just give out money to people. Yes, he is much better at home. I will definitely give him that. Don't need to go over the numbers. But here's some numbers I will say. The Baltimore Orioles suck against lefties. They suck against them. You take out Trey Mancini out of the lineup, and they are not hitting lefties at all. In fact, the last 9 of them they faced, they're posting a 1-1 whip and a 2.9 ERA. I am not impressed with this Baltimore team at all against lefties. Now you're giving me Toronto at home in a must-win game against Kyle Bradish, who is fooling a lot of people into thinking he's some solid pitcher, but he's absolutely not. I mean, I think that I'm incorporating the best of both worlds. Kikuchi could give up some runs, that's great, and then Toronto could win the ball game, that's even more great. Over 5.5, Toronto money line. I like that I reduced the juice there, and I love the bet.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Let's cruise on to the next game. Mets at Braves. I'll go first because it's really quick. Mets money line plus 132, 0.75 units. That's it for me. I do get why the Braves are favored here. The Braves have been hot as hell. Carlos Carrasco on the road, definitely not as good as reliable as he is at home. The Braves just saw him 2 weeks ago. So I understand why the Braves are favored, but let's be real here. The Mets just saw Strider as well. And also, I mean, you can make an argument. I'm not saying this, but you can make an argument that the Mets are the hottest team in baseball. Personally, I'd say the Dodgers, even after that loss last night. But you can make an argument that the Mets are the hottest team in baseball, and you're going to give them to me at plus 132. I'm going to take that 99 times out of 100. So I'm just on the Mets money line, just playing the number. Beaver?
Yeah, couldn't agree with you more right now. The Mets are a very, very hot team. Am I a little bit worried about Carlos Carrasco on the road? Definitely. I will definitely say I'm a little worried about Carlos Carrasco on the road, but the Mets bats are so hot right now. And honestly, I think Spencer Strider did himself a huge disservice by trying to insinuate that the Mets bats were lucky against him. We'll see how lucky they were tonight. And then on top of that, another thing I was looking at that really got me intrigued. If you look at Atlanta lately, look at their game logs. Besides that Taijuan Walker game, what are they really doing right now in terms of hitting the bat? Not much. I'll tell you that. Not much at all whatsoever. I'm seeing a bunch of 2-earned runs, and even less in some points. So I'm not really impressed with these Atlanta bats right now. I'm very impressed with the Mets bats shelling Wheeler yesterday. What a game I saw. But yeah, I mean, hard not to take the Mets at plus money, and the money's on the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
So, obviously, I agree with everything they said. I'm on the Mets. I guess I'll just give you my bets. Mets money line at plus 135 for 0.75 units. Mets first 5 team total over 1.5 at minus 110 for 0.75 units as well. First and foremost, the spot for the Braves, like Sauce talked about the price that we're getting with the Mets. It's almost automatic. It's almost a automatic fade spot for me and the Braves. You're getting the Braves coming home off an 11-game road trip. They've played 3 games in the last 2 games because they just played a doubleheader on Saturday as well. And now you're going to have the Mets coming in here against that kid that said the Mets got lucky. Oh, by the way, that was his last start at well. Get the out of here, man. I'm all over the Mets today.
Yeah.
And really quickly, the Carrasco on the road, he has had he's had 2 bad starts on the road this year that I can remember, and that's it. So everything else has been fantastic, which was in the same period of time. I think he went on the injured list right after that. At LA and at Houston, he got lit up. Well, not even lit up, but he didn't look really good. But at St. Louis, at Washington, Colorado, Chicago, and Miami, all fantastic. So
it looks like he got shelled twice on the road in June. Oh, and then once in April, too. So he has 3 bad road starts. All right, cool. So we're all in agreement there. Next game. Royals at Twins. Beaver, why don't you start us off?
Yeah, so this is an interesting one. I actually just crafted a parlay from this game literally 2 seconds ago while y'all were talking. I'm going to go with the Minnesota money line and the Giants money line in a parlay at plus 132, and I'm going to put 0.75 units on that. And then I'm also going to go with Joe Ryan under 2.5 earned runs. That's at minus 130, and I'm going to put 0.5 units on that one. Simply put, the Kansas City Royals are really not swinging the bat well right now against righties. And yes, while Joe Ryan has been absolutely throttled in 2 of his last 3 starts, that was the new Padres lineup and the Dodgers. Now he's facing the lowly KC Royals, who he's absolutely sunned this year, even with their best lineup, 0.77 ERA, 0.86 whip, and against the current lineup that's about to hit the field today, he owns a 4.14 OPS. I'm expecting a really solid effort from Joe Ryan today. A lot of the pitchers they faced recently, I want to go ahead and say 8 of the last 11 have held them under this total. And then on top of that, I really do like Bubic, I do, but I think that Twins bullpen is due for a solid outing one of these days, and I feel like against a KC lineup, that'll be it. Meanwhile, I have close to 0 hope for that KC bullpen. As long as the Twins can get the bats going, they should be able to hit the ball and score and win.
All right, Toast?
Yeah, I agree with Beaver. I like the Twins today. I've already put them in a parlay. First and foremost, and I'm sure Sauce is going to talk about it, but Bubic isn't bad. Like that's like the first and foremost. Like he's not bad in any way, shape, or form. So like I said, I had the Twins in a parlay. I actually like the first 5 under 4.5 at minus 120. I'm going to do that for 0.75 units as well. Because like I said, Bubic has been fantastic, and then Joe Ryan has been fantastic as well. And Joe Ryan at home this year has like a 582 OPS. I can't find it in my notes right now, but just been fantastic. Almost 200 points better at home this year. Like I said, Bubic hasn't been bad at all. So I definitely really like this first 5 under.
I'm on the same exact boat. I actually did not pick a side in this game, but I played the under 2 ways. So I have the under 8 at minus 105 for a half unit, and then the first 5 under with Toast for another half unit. So I played the under 2 ways. I'm not necessarily betting on these starting pitchers. Joe, like Toast said, Joe Ryan and Bubic, both of them have been pitching well. So I have reason to back them, but these 2 bets are not really based on me putting my trust in these starting pitchers. This is just a straight fade of these 2 lineups in these spots. So the Minnesota Twins, they have not been hitting lefties well in forever, since like mid-May. They're just 23rd in the MLB in OPS versus left-handed pitching the last 2 weeks, and that's where they've been chilling for like 2 months now. I'm telling you, this team is not the same that it was earlier in the year, not hitting lefties at all. And on the fact that the Twins haven't been hitting well at home either. They're just 21st at home at OPS for the last 2 weeks. So I don't trust this Twins lineup. No way, no how, especially against a lefty at home. Now, the Royals lineup, I know that we've seen some signs of life from them recently, but for the most part, those signs of life happen in Kansas City. On the road, this offensive numbers in this team are just awful. So I have no reason to back that lineup as well. So yeah, I think both Joe Ryan and Bubic both throw great games here, and I'm backing both unders.
I think the last thing you just said is very important. The Royals can hit at home, but they cannot hit jack shit when they are on the road. Nada, nothing. They're brutally
like
bad.
Similar. It's like similar to Cincinnati. It's like on the road they're the worst lineup in baseball. At home they're like 7th.
I want to address two things. So one of the people asked in the comments about the Twins coming home from a road trip. Part of the reason why I like that first 5 under and Sauce's under even more. And then as far as them winning the game, I just like them because they haven't used their bullpen the last couple. Their 2 main guys didn't go yesterday, so I just want them to win the game with the Phillies. That's all. I wouldn't be playing the Twins huge on that. And then somebody else talked about they hate when people say things are due. Well, in baseball, you have to, when you're looking at games and capping numbers, you have to do that. We have things called positive regression and negative regression. So numbers can go with that either way. So I understand that when people say, oh, they're due, that can be bad. But usually there's reasons before that. So I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends on how you see it. If a pitcher has shut a lineup down 4 straight times, does that mean he just has that lineup's number? Or does that mean he's due to get completely rocked for some negative regression? It's all just, you have to get a feel for it and just keep paying attention. Track all your bets in some kind of spreadsheet so you can look back and see where you're making mistakes and where you're losing money. But that's for a different conversation. Let's cruise on to the next baseball game. Oakland at Texas. I'll go first. I'm so pissed at the price of this game. I'm on Texas money line for a full unit. I think it's at minus 162 or 163 or something. I'm not sure where you got it. 164, that's fine. Just put a full unit on it. I'm just not comfortable backing Oakland here, especially So the Texas Rangers, they're not a team that's going to win 1-0 baseball games, 2-0, 2-1. But it's not who the Texas Rangers are, especially in Arlington. This team wants to get into shootouts, and that's why they were fade material for a week. That's why I lost some big bets on the Rangers, because the lineup disappeared. But they come off back-to-back wins. They beat the Mariners back-to-back, division rivals, put up a combined 12 runs in those last 2 games of the series. If the Rangers' bats are back, there's just no reason to even glance at Oakland here. Another positive note, Glenn Otto, finally, this man is coming back. He started 2 games in Austin. He started 2 games in August and looked really good in both of them, back-to-back solid starts. One of those was a trip to Houston as well. I like James Caprielin, or however you say his name, and he's having a good season. He's definitely been pitching well recently. But if Texas is hitting, I can't bet Oakland here. So just Texas money line full unit. Beaver.
I hate this game quite badly.
It sucks.
Yeah, I actually want to take Oakland pretty goddamn badly, but I just don't think I could do it. I'm just going to play real light, half a unit. The first 5 under 4.5. That's at minus 115, putting 0.5 units on it. Every time James Caprillion starts, the first 5 under hits. It is a trend that I've seen time and time and time again. And while Glenn Otto does absolutely suck at home, one thing I will give Glenn Otto is that he's pretty nice against lefties. He's going to be seeing 5 in that Oakland lineup today. I think James Cap has been improving a lot over the season, and every time it seems that he's seen the Texas Rangers, he gets a little better and better, including the last time where he shut them out. And only allowed 2 hits, so I'm not betting too crazy on this game. I really don't like it, but I do like the first 5 under. Don't trust either bullpen.
Yeah, to answer your question, yeah, the Rangers manager did get fired. But there's I don't know, I always feel like the team wins the first game after they fire a manager. I don't know. Toast?
I love this game. I'm playing the Rangers minus 1.5 at plus 130 for 0.75 units. First and foremost, the last 15 Ranger wins, all by 2 runs or more. I'm sorry, 14 out of the last 15, all 2 runs or more. When this team wins, they win by 2 runs or more. They are very, very, very similar to the Dodgers. Very similar to the Dodgers. Again, they're on a roll. They just fired their manager as well. They talked about the pitchers and stuff like that, but I'm just playing the run line because when Texas wins, they win by margin. And I went back and literally went game by game on their game logs and got to 20 and only had one. So -1.5 for me.
Cool. All right, let's get off this shitty ass game and get to a good one. What's
Please,
next,
for
Beaver?
Christ's sakes. Love this game.
Dodgers
Beaver's
at
going-
Brewers.
Oh.
Beaver is going first. Tell us what you love, Prop Beaver.
Chiefs. I mean, everybody and their mother's probably a little down on the Dodgers after yesterday. I get it. It makes a lot of sense. But you think
doesn't.
that I'm gonna sit here and bet this sorry ass Brewers team against a lefty that they haven't been able to hit in the last 3 games they faced him. 1 hit, 4 hit, 1 hit. And on top of that, if you look at the Brewers against lefties, they're one of the worst lineups in all the baseball. Yes, Freddie Peralta has looked decent since coming back from injury, but this is not the old Freddie Peralta that has been dominating the Dodgers in the past. This is a very, very shaky Freddie Peralta that I have close to zero trust in. So I'm going with the Dodgers -1.5 at +100 for a full unit. I think it's psychotic that the line is set like this. And then another bet that I got for us today in this one is I'm going with Julio Urias to hit over 6.5 Ks. I got that at a cool +107, and I'm putting 0.75 units on that one. The Brewers have the second highest K percentage in all of baseball against lefties over the past month. And on top of that, if we look at some of the lefties that have been facing the Brewers lately, they just let Jordan Montgomery, who's not even a K guy, they let him hit 8. Then they let Jeffrey Springs hit 8. They've allowed the past 6 and 9 guys they faced to hit. And if you look at Urias against the Brewers his past 3 times, we're talking about a guy with 10, 9, and 7 Ks. I love the spot for Julio Urias. He's been better on the road ever since June 13th. I'm expecting some dominance.
Toast.
Yeah. Dodgers -1.5 for a full unit. Urias to record a win at +125 for a half a unit as well. I'm going to make a statement right here, and some might disagree, but Julio Urias is very close to being one of the most undervalued pitchers in Major League Baseball. His record over the last 3 seasons, guys, is 35-9. Obviously, there's games where there's no decisions and whatnot, but we already know what the Dodgers are. I cannot believe that they're still giving us +100 on this run line. So I love the Dodgers today.
Brewers money line.
Are you
Brewers
serious?
money line? Yeah, for a full unit. +145. I like this pitching matchup here. Freddie Peralta looked great in his last start against Tampa, and if Freddie Peralta's back, this game should be priced completely different. Beaver's right. Milwaukee does not hit lefties well at all, nor have they this entire season. But one thing Milwaukee does do well, really well, is hit at home. All season they're up there. In the past 2 weeks, they're number 5 in Major League Baseball in OPS at home. This team always seems to score at home. Another thing, you guys want to know when the last time Julio Urias pitched against a playoff team? It's 2 months ago against the Braves in June. And the Dodgers are winning a ton of his games. They haven't played any playoff teams. Want to know back when they were playing playoff teams? The Dodgers went 1-6 in a 7-start stretch with Julio Urias. It's a completely different ballgame when he pitches against good teams. I'm not saying the Brewers are going to win it, but at +145 with fresh Freddie at home, I think the Brewers are, again, I think there's going to be crazy energy in that stadium tonight. I think it's going to be rocking. I think this is the perfect spot for Freddie Peralta and the Brew Crew to come out to some playoff atmosphere energy and catch the Dodgers off guard here.
Wow. Freddie Peralta looked really impressive against the Rays and the Pirates. Those are some really solid lineups.
You want to go look at who Urias is pitching against, bro?
Bro, I can't even believe such a statement. Can't even believe
I mean,
it.
how are you going to make that statement and not even include the fact that, what was I just saying about Julio Urias? It's been 2 months since he even pitched against a playoff team. 2 months, bro.
Dude, the Brewers literally just played the most dog shit division in baseball and beat up on a bunch of clowns every other fucking week. When you're playing against the Cubs, the fucking Pirates, and the Reds, I mean, yeah, of course you're gonna be a playoff team in such a dog shit division. That team fucking blows.
I don't
You take
necessarily...
away Corbin Burns and Brandon Woodruff, and they wouldn't even be relevant whatsoever.
Bro, I don't even think the Brewers are that good. I just think it's a beautiful spot for them. All right, let's cruise on to the next game.
All right, you're gonna, 1 second. You're gonna be mad at me for this one because I gotta change that team. It is the White Sox that they're playing.
Are you changing the logo?
Yeah, yes. There you go.
Okay. I'll go first. So, all right, for this game. All right, so I would rather take my money, douse it in kerosene, and take a blowtorch to it than to just waste it on a bet backing Johnny Cueto. Are you guys not seeing the pattern here? I keep fading this guy because he sucks. I don't know how else to describe that. I feel like I've been pretty versatile in the ways I've described on how I bet Johnny Cueto. Gotta fade him here, especially against the Astros. Houston money line minus 135 for a full unit.
I'll go next because I know that Beaver is going to wiggle his way into a White Sox bet. I can just feel it. I can feel it in my bones. I'm all over the bad guys here. You guys know I bet Houston religiously, just like the Dodgers. But I actually kind of went into this game because I had a conversation with Beaver, and he threw me for a loop, kind of like Sauce did with that Brewers bet. So we had to look into it a little bit more. White Sox, two people in the top of that lineup with Pollock and Moncada, who are just garbage. Tim Anderson's replacement, Mr. Sosa, striking out 30% of the time. So what does Urquidy do? He throws fastballs. White Sox are 26th in Major League Baseball against the fastball. There's no lefties in the Houston pen. We like to know how the White Sox like to hit against lefties. So yeah, Beaver, tell them about how they beat up on these shitty right-handers. Go ahead.
All right. So Johnny Cueto actually has ownership of the Houston Astros lineup. Legitimate ownership.
Make sure
it's sad. Kyle. It is sad to see the numbers that they put up against, as Kyle says, such a non-respectable pitcher. That 184 OBP and 375 OPS through, 60 plate appearances. That's quite good. And then you got Jose Urquidy, who absolutely sucks on the road. This guy is ass cheeks on the road. His worst spot is on the road against right-handed batters, where he's pitching an 849 OPS and a 361 WOBA. You want to go ahead and look at the last 4 right-handed pitchers that have headed to Chicago? Yes, they've all been piss poor. I will definitely give you that. None of these guys are anything special, but I will also say at the same time, they have been lighting them up into a different stratosphere. Manning, Singer, who I consider very good, Keller, and Aller have owned a 1.91 whip, a 7.83 ERA, and just a 15.4 K percentage. I really think that Urquidy's going to get actually shelled into a different planet today. So that's why I'm going with Urquidy under 4.5 Ks. That is at a nice minus 130. I'm putting a full unit on that. And then I'm going with Chicago White Sox first 5 money line at plus 116 for a half a unit. This is the biggest trap on the board with the exception of that Orioles game. And I cannot believe these two fools are falling into it. Kyle more so because it's simply because of pride.
What do you mean pride? It's working. I fade the guy to keep paying.
You fade him because of pride.
What are you talking about? And what are you talking about? This guy has owned the Astros. What
are you even getting?
The stats from 2013. His last start in 2013, he pitched fantastic against them.
No, his last start this year. His last start this year where he went into Houston and owned that ass. If you look at Houston lately, against the past 12 righties they faced,
which all those 60 plate appearances were 10 years ago, literally.
Against the past 12 righties, 2 of those guys have allowed more than 2+ earned runs. I'm telling you, this shit's an absolute trap. I cannot believe y'all are falling into it.
All right, best of luck with Cueto.
I will.
All right, move on to the next game. He hasn't pitched against Houston since 2015. Before this year,
he pitched against them earlier this season.
I know. Before this year, I said. All right. Mariners at Angels. All right. How can we possibly cap this game? Just put Angels money line at -110 for a half unit. Just a half unit. I mean, Ohtani at home. We already know what a beast he is. And Castillo coming off a game where he looked like a Cy Young candidate through 8 shutout innings against Garrett Cole and the Yankees. Castillo's been hot as hell. So I think rather than try to pick and find an edge there, I'm just going to call that a wash. We have 2 aces. Let's call it a wash for this video's sake. So next we gotta take a look at the bullpens and the bats, right, to try to find our advantage. Look at these numbers from the bullpen. This is crazy. In the past 2 weeks, the Angels are second in ERA. Mariners are third. Angels are second. Mariners are third. In batting average, Mariners are second. Angels are third. In on-base percentage, Mariners are second. Angels third. And slugging percentage, Angels are second. Mariners are third. These teams are second and third in every single statistical category in the bullpen. So trying to find an edge, not really finding one. That's a dead even wash. How about batting, right? Let's look at some OPS numbers. These teams in the past 2 weeks are 26th and 27th, practically dead even. All the numbers are almost identical here with 2 aces. Flip a coin on this one. I'm going half unit on the Angels money line. But if you're going to bet the Mariners, your angle would probably be their bullpen is fresher than the Angels. Because the Angels are a little... I mean, their bullpen, they might be missing one arm, but Mariners' bullpen is a little less tired, so... But I don't see much of a lean either way. Go ahead, whoever wants to go.
So I guess I'll go next. This game is very, very weird. Both 2 absolute studs on the mound. It's really hard to kind of pick a direction, honestly, because their stats are almost identical in essentially every single category. Offensively, bullpen-wise, pitching-wise. I mean, it's insanely hard to cap a game when you've got 2 twin teams playing each other. I'm just going to go with, in my mind, the better team right now. And I'm also, I did a little SGP to add some value to it. So you're going with the Seattle money line and then under 10.5 SGP. That's going to be coming in at a nice +125, and I'll put a half unit on it. I'm really not crazy about this game. It's hard to cap. One thing I will say, though, is that the Ohtani K line, I know the last time I said this, I got burned into a different planet, but I will say it looks like a full-blown trap today. I'm not touching it, but at 7.5, which he's hit, his past, 5 or 6 home games, there's something very weird going on with that.
Okay. Toast?
I'm on Seattle. I mean, I understand how good Ohtani is. I'm taking Seattle on the money line. I mean, I loved it this morning at +100 at -110. I just give me a half a unit, but I think that Seattle is the better team. I think they have much more to play for. And I think that we're getting them at a really good price after losing 2 games in a row to Texas. So Angels have been playing well. They're 7-3 their last 10 games. Can't really knock them for that. I mean, they're playing well. So finding ways to win games at the end of the game. So if they can do that against Seattle, more power to them.
I will say I like how the money moved from +130 for the Mariners to all the way to now -110. That is quite the line movement.
Yeah, I was pretty pissed when I just saw that I can't even give him out at plus money anymore, but whatever.
Yeah, as recent as 8 a.m., that shit was at +102. So it's only been into the minus for about 6 hours now. All right. Next game, please. Should be the last one, right?
Yeah.
All right. I'll go first because I actually like this play a lot. And at first, I was like shaking my head at this game. But the more I looked at the numbers, the more I think that this is actually a winner. Obviously, the Giants' offense is wowing exactly nobody recently. But I do have to say, at home and against a left-handed starter is definitely the best spot for them. They're not elite, but they go from bottom 5 in Major League Baseball, and then when you look at their numbers at home or against lefties, they jump up to like 15th as far as the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever metrics you use. And on the fact that Bumgarner has not been pitching well at all. He's pitched 2 games in August so far, home against the Pirates and home against the Rockies. These are 2 teams that don't hit the ball on the road. Home against the Pirates, home against the Rockies. He's got a 6.94 ERA in those 2 games. He got shelled in both of them. I mean, that's alarming to say the least. Now, Bumgarner did pitch against the Giants earlier in the season and beat them, but he didn't even pitch well in that game. Like, I don't have much confidence in Alex Cobb either, don't get me wrong, but I have zero confidence in Bumgarner. So right now, in my research, when I get to this point, I'm thinking Giants -1.5, right? But here is the X factor for me here. Here's where it gets weird. I can't bet on the Giants because they're juiced as hell, as we can plainly see. Their bullpen has just fallen off a cliff recently, maybe bottom 3 in baseball. The Giants are dead last in Major League Baseball in slugging percentage allowed in the past 2 weeks, and it's not even close. I think they're like 85, 90 points above anyone. Their bullpen has allowed 10 home runs in the last 14 days. The Giants' bullpen is untouchable right now. So, after all that, let me check to make sure you can still get it. But when I did this game, yes, over 8 is at +100. I'm putting a full unit on it. Toast, it looks like you gave me the nod, which means I think you're thinking similarly.
Yeah. I thought there was more coming, but I like that. I like Arizona team total over 3.5 at +110 for a half a unit, and then I also like the over 8 at +100 again for a half a unit as well. Just don't look now, but the Snakes are hot. The Snakes are scoring runs. I will say I don't love the fact that they're coming out of Colorado in 3 games there, but these guys are scoring runs. Here's the last 10 games that the runs scored the Snakes have had: 7-6-3. That was Colorado. 9-4-6-3 6-2-6. This team just keeps on scoring runs. Sauce touched on how bad the San Francisco bullpen is and has been. So yeah, I plus money, and just to get to 4, I'm all over it.
Beaver, where are you? Alex Cobb over walks?
No, I did that money line parlay earlier with Minnesota.
Oh, that's right.
I think it was a nice +136 or something like that.
I don't know how you guys are backing the Twins right now. That team sucks. I hate the Twins.
They suck, but Joe Ryan is not going to allow a run through like 7 innings, so it should be fine.
I mean, I'm on the under, so I didn't fade him or anything, but
yeah. Yeah, honestly, it's because I didn't. These are the 2 games I didn't take all that much time into capping because I was putting together the graphics, and I was like, oh, well, I like both these sides, so yeah.
Yo, that happens. I noticed when I was doing the graphics that the last 2 or 3 games of the slate would get like half-assed. Because like I always said to me,
there's a lot of shit to do.
When we do like the game early, it'll be like Braves Cubs early, and I'll have like fucking 8 paragraphs of notes, and then the last game has like 3 sentences.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, so that's what I did. Sorry, Chiefs.
All right, so that's the last game. I have a round robin to give out.
Bonus bets.
I'll go first. Or Toast, you want to give your hit parlay first?
Yeah, I do. It's nice, juicy +311. We're gonna go Alex Bohm, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Alex Bregman, and Francisco Lindor.
Boom, Vlad Jr., Bregman, Francisco Lindor at +311, you said?
Correct.
Wow. That's a nice payout right there.
Lindor owns a penthouse in Spencer Strider's head.
Oh my God! You know I'm playing that total base prop too. You already know it.
He's 4-7 against the guy. Absolutely owns his ass.
All right, I'll go. So mine's a I'm sorry. It's a round robin. I'm going to give you 3 spots. You can either A, pick your favorite 2 of the 3 and play just a 2-hit parlay. They're all dogs. Or B, run a 2-pick round robin on this. So Reds money line. You don't have to put the plus. Reds money line, Mets money line, Brewers money line. So those three plus 145, plus 140, plus 145. Either pick your favorite two or run a 2-pick round robin. I think all three have a good chance to win.
Yeah, and then I have a K parlay for.
Yo, put underneath Milwaukee. Wait, Beaver on mine. Under Milwaukee money line, put 2-pick RR. So that way, if someone's skimming through and doesn't have the sound, they can see that. There you go. Yeah, perfect. Okay. All right, Beaver. Do you have anything to give out, or just the K parlay for VIP only?
No, I got it to give to the people today. I feel bad, kind of skimping everybody out of it. It's called the Augustus Gloop. Keeping it up with the last time I won a K parlay. Going with Charlie the Chocolate Factory, people. All right, so I'm going with Syndergaard, 5+ K. I'm going with Your Quiddy, under 4.5 Ks. I'm going with Garrett Cole, 8+ Ks. And then I'm going with Urias at 6+ Ks. That pays out a nice plus 393. I love the value on it. I like its chances today. The Augustus Gloop.
The Augustus Gloop. How do you even know the characters' names from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? They never say them.
What do you mean they don't say them? It goes through like each one of them how they get their ticket, and Augustus Gloop's fat ass was just eating every chocolate bar in the city of Germany.
That's
in the country of Germany, and freaking found one.
That's funny as hell. All right, so that's it for the show. Let's get out of here so I can get the VIP uploaded to the app. Give me about 20 minutes on that. I have 2 additional parlays going on the VIP in addition to the round robin I just gave. So keep your eye peeled about 20 minutes. Is that it for tonight? Yeah. Yo, you guys want to do the? Actually, you guys don't really have to do anything.
Jonathan India just got scratched. Jonathan India just got scratched.
It's my boy. So how about tomorrow night? We'll officially schedule it. Tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern time, I'll go live and do the Big Ten wins and losses totals. I have all my notes. I'm ready to go.
I'll produce it for you, Buster Bluth.
For real?
Yeah.
You
all
do
right,
that,
guy.
Beaver?
You do that
I
for
would do
me?
that.
He hasn't worked in a week. I mean, that'd be nice.
Yo, for real. He's worked 4.5 hours in the past month.
Get out of here.
All right, so we're good. So tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Put it in your calendars. I'm going to put it up on YouTube. The Big Ten. I'm going through win-loss totals and season previews for every single team in the Big Ten. All right?
Yes, and yes, Francisco Lindor plays for the Mets. Yes.
Yes, he does. All right, everyone have a good night. Let's cake the bank accounts, and we'll talk to you later. See you tomorrow. Oh, tomorrow's Tuesday, so 4 p.m. Same time tomorrow. 4 p.m. tomorrow. Later.
Peace.